Welcome to Pit Stop with Don and James. I'm James.
And I'm Don.
Don, my man, it feels so good to be back for round 2. Shakedown is over, and we have testing coming up this week. We should note that it is Saturday, February 7th, and testing starts this Wednesday. I am so excited.
It's back, and maybe at one of the more, highly anticipated testings, right? With the new regulations, I think everybody's excited to see what these cars are capable of and what they look like out there. I can say that the videos I've seen so far, you can notice how much shorter the cars are. They are not nearly as long, so I'm excited to see that.
From what I've seen, a bunch of drivers are saying it's a little bit like they're faster down the straights, but it's a little tricky to follow in the corners, I guess, is what I heard. Mm-hmm. I think it was Lewis Hamilton, or maybe it was George Russell, saying that the cars are kind of twitchy a little bit. You get a little bit of oversteer going around everything. So yeah. I don't really know what to expect when we actually get our first race going down.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect either. I think it's going to be a couple of races before we really have much of an idea, right? But I will say that I read some stuff that several of an article with quotes from several of the drivers and similar sentiments to what you just mentioned. The stuff that I noted about it, they tend. I would say, first of all, the stuff I heard was it tended towards positivity. Like the drivers seemed excited about the cars. That's what I heard. They said that there was noticeably less grip and downforce, which is to be expected. This is not the high downforce car of this past generation, so it's a little less grip. I think that goes along with the twitchiness that you were just talking about, right? There's additional power. I heard several of the drivers say stuff that they thought there was additional power there. That the cars were a little more nimble because of that smaller size. So that's kind of cool. Another thing that a couple people mentioned was drivers saying they had more, like power options. I'm not really sure what that means. I know there's lots of modes they can run the cars in. I don't know if they've got more modes or something now, or if they just feel like maybe with the new electric boost stuff that they're trying to use, they were talking about that. I didn't have any specifics on it, but I heard a couple of the drivers make quotes like that. So yeah, several different things I think to look for.
Yeah, well, I think one of the regulations, maybe to quickly note, is they removed the MGU-H, which is the motor generator unit heat, is removed. And now, so they just have the MGU-K, which is kinetic. Mm-hmm. And I guess that drives directly into the wheel. So it's something like an extra, like 160 horsepower at the wheels.
Oh, wow.
Just from the electric motor. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe they'll just be quicker getting up to speed, or maybe it'll just give them that little extra boost once they get to the top speed already. So I don't know. A lot of weird things going on, right? I mean, we saw Adrian Newey's car. It's got the Viking horns on it. It's got a bunch of extra little bits and pieces on it. Something else I noticed was the Alpine. I think it's the Alpine car. For the DRS at the back, instead of lifting up, it lifts down. It basically just falls down and then lifts back up. So it's going to be odd to see just if it makes a difference.
What is that unit? What is that? Because there's DRS is eliminated for the year, right? Like they're not even going to have DRS. So what's that?
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. The movable wing in the back.
I think they have been talking about the active arrow. Is that just part of that?
I think that's what it design is. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just gonna call it DRS, even though it's a active arrow. You can call it whatever you want. It's the same concept.
I'm trying to remember which car was it. Did this must have been from the shakedown or something? Like somebody's front wing broke and it was like Ferrari or I don't know somebody.
Oh man,
they were like, oh boy, these woes continue.
Yeah. So it'll be weird.
I honestly I haven't gone back yet and watched the recaps of the various shakedown sessions. It was 5 days. I think teams were allotted that they could go out 3 of the 5 days. and most teams participated. Williams didn't.
I think they were the only team to not participate. Maybe it's a little conspiracy theorist, but are they just not wanting to show their hand? Like, are they so confident in how good they are that they don't want to spook anybody?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far, but I yeah, I mean maybe they'll get it together, and they are confident that they didn't need the time there at the shakedown. But did you notice anything? Did you watch the recaps or read any articles about what they found or what they saw?
I would see like the little shorts that the official F1 media conglomerate would put out, and so I would see the cars running every now and then, see snippets of interviews, but nothing definitive. I do know that Lewis Hamilton posted the fastest time in his Ferrari. I don't know if it's going to make a difference on anything. I mean, testing last year, McLaren weren't even the fastest guys, and they ended up dominating the majority of the season. So I think everybody's kind of sandbagging. Nobody really wants to reveal their hand yet.
Yeah, we I think we'd be foolish to read too much into what happened at the shakedown, but yeah, I think everybody who is a longtime Formula One fan, or at least a Lewis Hamilton fan, probably was excited to see his name at the top of something. So
yeah, it's definitely been a while, right? Since China last year.
the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, when he won it, which I don't know why. I think it'll be definitely interesting. I think testing maybe a little bit more. Of course, we can read a little bit more into what happens at testing than at the shakedown, because the sort of what they were putting out there as far as the purpose of the shakedown was not to really go out and see who's the fastest. It was more a way of just making sure that with all the new changes, the cars wouldn't fall apart out on the track during a Grand Prix.
And of course, Cadillac and Audi were out and about, right? I think when I looked at the times, I think Cadillac was something like 4 seconds slower than Lewis Hamilton. I think Hamilton was 116 something, and Cadillac was down in the 120s. I hope that is not the reality come race week in 3 weeks, but I guess we'll just find out.
Yeah. I think they'll do better than that, but it's gonna be interesting for sure. And man, how cool would it be if they came out guns blazing and they were like one of the faster cars out there? That'd be pretty sick. I'd be
with
excited.
Audi close behind in second.
Yeah. I wonder with Audi. I haven't read much about it. I'm kind of showing my hand that I really detached from F1 over the off season here, but I wonder if they if they're working with a lot of the same stuff that they had back from the Stake, Kick, Sauber days, then we wouldn't expect a huge jump up. They had a good jump from 2 years ago to last year. Their performance was way better, but I don't know. I'm not sure when they switch to Audi, are they going to completely scrap the car? Are they going to stick with some of their same people and same concepts? I don't know. Have you heard anything?
I have not heard anything. Everybody's just been kind of mum on it. And there's obviously a lot of chatter going on of what people are speculating going on. So maybe the actual answer's out there, but I just haven't heard anything.
What was interesting is I went into a store just this morning, and I can't remember which store it was. It might have been. Have you ever seen that clothing store, Buckle?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I think it was there, and they had a whole bunch of Alfa Romeo stuff. It wasn't F1 stuff, but it was like T-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies, and I was like, I kind of wanted to get one. But anyway, I was thinking about them, and that's probably why I ended up putting on the Kick Sauber hat today.
Yeah, man,
used to be there.
That is a relic now. No longer existing.
That's one of the reasons why I picked this up. I mean, it's Nico Hülkenberg's number, and I like that guy and root for him all the time. But at the same time, I was like, well, it's the end of an era. Maybe I can get this thing, and we won't see it again. So, when I'm an old timer F1 guy and there's young people getting into it, they'll be like, "What was that?" I don't know.
Yeah.
They'll probably never ask me anything about it.
Yeah, well, he's still racing this year, of course, for Audi. So hopefully, big things, right, can come down. Have you seen any of the liveries yet?
Yeah.
Any? What do you think?
Well,
Not
yeah.
a lot has changed. I will say that, besides a few logos going on, but a lot of color schemes are still pretty much what they were.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there was anything that caught my eye as drastic. But I mean, yeah, I went through and looked. There's a few cars that haven't even launched a livery yet, right? Like I didn't find all of them.
No, Williams was earlier this week on the 3rd. Of course, today, like I said, today's February 7th. Tomorrow is February 8th, which is the Super Bowl, and Cadillac will unveil their livery tomorrow sometime during the Super Bowl. Since this will come out afterwards, I will say congratulations to the New England Patriots on winning the Super Bowl. Job well done, guys.
Hey, come on, man, get out of here. I'm a Seahawks fan, and we're looking for revenge from the last time that they met up in the Super Bowl and threw an interception on the 1 yard line to end the game.
Yeah, maybe if they would run it this time instead of throwing it, and they'll stand a better chance.
I think I saw somebody say the Seahawks should sign Marshawn Lynch to a 1 game contract just in case they end up on the 1 yard line with a chance to win it.
There you go.
So they didn't give it to him last time, and they totally should have. But
should.
So,
but yeah, Cadillac tomorrow, and then Aston Martin and McLaren are later on this week, I believe. So,
did I see that Cadillac has their car like in Times Square or something like that? Like
it is currently sitting in Times Square, ready to go for tomorrow. I'm sure it is heavily guarded. I don't think it's a real car. I'm sure it's just like a touring, reproduction car that they have. But I'm sure they don't want to have it vandalized or stolen in any way.
Yeah.
So
it's just a Lego car sitting in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked at the Williams and I wanted to ask you about it. I thought it was, for the most part, it was pretty consistent with their past couple of cars. They put a splash of light blue on there for the Barclays logo. Like I thought that was kind of cool. Like I liked the little light blue touch. And then they got those roulette wheels, like in the wheels, they're like purple. That was kind of cool, but a little different. What did you think? Because they're your team.
I thought the way that they unveiled it was a little underwhelming, if I'm honest. But I mean, that typical Williams blue that we've all kind of come to know and love. I think it looked sharp. I just hope, it looks great, but I want the car to actually be quick and functional. That's all I'm really hoping for. And that Sainz doesn't bin it this time in the first race out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hoping for.
We'll see if there's rain in Australia this time. That really threw everything for a loop. Alpine, the Alpine livery, pretty similar, right? The dark blue and the pink, a little bit of light blue on it. Didn't see anything particularly that like grabbed my attention on the Alpine livery.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of, I think they're throwing away this season as well, if I had to guess. I don't. Everything that I've heard, they do not seem very confident in their car this year. So I don't know what needs to happen. I think we may have mentioned it last time where Ferrari, they got kind of sick of their engineers and brought in engineers from their endurance team on the WEC. So I don't know that. Well, I guess Alpine was in WEC, but I don't know that they want those engineers either. I don't think they've had tremendous success there. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to start pulling people from other teams or other categories and hopefully do something that helps them to step it up.
The Ferrari livery, people are saying too much white on that. It's like the top part is white. What did you think? Was that you that sent me? Somebody sent me a video, like an Instagram reel, and it was like the guy was just like, red, you have one job, just paint it red.
I know. I don't mind it. I don't mind the white.
Yeah.
Obviously, HP is a big sponsor and they have blue and white as their logo. So you just got to kind of make do with what you have, I guess, right?
Yeah, I had heard one of the videos that I watched, and it might have been that same one where it was like they put the white on there just to make the HP logo pop a little more. So they must be getting a lot of money to corrupt their car this way. I don't know. I do like the red cars, but it's cool. It would be cool. Like I could see a white, kind of a more like mostly white Ferrari and like maybe accent it with red. That might be cool just to do for a one-off livery here or there. Like I don't know. They've kind of changed a little bit over the years between like that like scarlet red and then like the like more dark red. And like I do like an occasional shakeup, but we'll see. I know I've seen a white Ferrari out on the road, and I think they make a really cool looking car when it's not just red. Like I've seen some that are like charcoal colored or like I said, a white one. And there's something cool about a white Ferrari.
Yeah, I really miss the Ferrari with the Marlboro sponsorship.
Oh yeah.
Man, like because it's black, white, and red for the Marlboro, but it just fits so perfectly on their car. It was so stinking sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of an iconic look for the race cars, that Marlboro. Of course, smoking is hazardous to the health, and and so that's kind of gone away. They just aren't really sponsoring. I don't even know if they can, if that's like there's some law against it or something. But
oh yeah, definitely can't do that.
I saw. Speaking of this, I think I was in that same store I was just telling you about, and somebody they had made a hat. There was a hat they were selling, and it had the Marlboro insignia, but it said "My mom tried," like something like that on it. That's just today saw that. So,
oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Any other liveries that you saw that you liked?
Nothing's really surprised me. I'm really excited to kind of see where McLaren go. I know they're probably going to do the papaya, which is classic Bruce McLaren color. I do kind of wish they would do a throwback just for a season of kind of like that early 90s white and red, like Senna's or Prost, like that sort of time era. I think they could do a really cool livery. That would be so stinking sharp.
Weren't they still running a livery kind of like that when Lewis Hamilton was driving for McLaren?
Yeah, they had the silver and red is what they had. I think Vodafone was their big sponsor, if I remember correctly. But yeah, doing a throwback would be really cool, or maybe doing even a throwback to that time era. You had Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard, who drove for them, Kimi Räikkönen, and they had that like silver, white, black aesthetic going. Super sharp. Just for one season. It doesn't have to be permanent.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a shakeup. I do like the orange cars. I think that's cool, as we've talked about before. But I noticed there was some orange on the Audi livery. I actually really dug the Audi livery. It was like silver, black, orange, and red, like all these colors on it. So it was kind of cool. Like it was mostly like a dark colored car, but there was these accents of orange and red. And I thought it looked pretty sick, man. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I don't know. Like the way it's like kind of like half and half, like it's the front half is silver and the back half is split into two with the orange and black. I don't know.
I like
it almost well, the thing is it sort of reminds me of their, I think it was like their GT car when they were running the Audi TTs. If I had to guess, I think that's where they kind of drew their inspiration from. But
yeah,
I guess I don't know. It's not for me. I don't really dig it that much.
Yeah.
The one I'm really waiting for is Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I want to see if they do anything interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see this Adrian Newey car, but I'm more excited to see what it does on the track. Like he's got such a good record of making fast cars that
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of Fernando Alonso, of course. So like I want to see what he does in this car, if it can perform and if he can squeeze a lot out of it. So I'm kind of excited about that. Um, but yeah, we'll see. They had a lot of changes, over the years since Lawrence Stroll's been involved in, um, their new facility and all that kind of stuff. And then of course poaching Adrian Newey was huge. So, and then they got, I think, a lot of other senior leaders at the team from other places too. So, yeah, I'll be watching them pretty closely. Hopefully they don't
Yeah.
disappoint.
Well, it is upon us. We are going to have testing this week from Wednesday to Friday, and then the following Wednesday to Friday as well. During the shakedown, Isaac Hadjar had a spin, which I think everybody is very well familiar with at this point. How do you think testing is going to go? Do you foresee anybody crashing? I mean, we have Arvin Lindblad, who is a rookie. I think he might be the only rookie in the field this year. I'm not going to count Sergio Perez and Valtteri. I know they've been on the outskirts and are now coming back, but I'm not going to count them as rookies.
They're like old guys in this sport
And
now.
they sure are, man. What do you think? You think any more crashes are going to happen? You think anybody's going to kind of test the waters, maybe push it, see how fast they can go and set the quickest time?
Well, I mean, Lindblad would be the one that like you'd probably bet the most that was going to happen.
Yeah,
I bet Hadjar keeps it on track, although he's in that tricky seat. The Red Bull, notoriously hard to drive for the second seat person. But with the new shakeup, I don't know how much input Max had. It's been a long time that they've been. People have speculated, that Max, they design everything for him and his driving style, and he, his input sticks while the second driver doesn't really get much say. Which, I mean, you kind of have to respect it. I mean, Max is so dominant that you could understand why they might do that. Having said that, we'll see. Isaac, he's a good driver. He wasn't. I wouldn't say he was known for crashing the car. When he was last year, he had the unfortunate crash out in the very first race before the race even started. But it was really the rain that did that, and then I don't know. I don't know how many other incidents he had throughout the year. I don't seem to recall there being a lot. So I think he'll keep it on track for the testing at least. And I mean, I wouldn't rule out like Lance Stroll losing control of it and putting it in the wall or spinning out and going into the gravel or something. But
yeah, the thing is like testing, you want to start kind of testing the limits, especially with a car that is brand new for everybody. So we might see it at both ends of the spectrum. Drivers that aren't, have them, they're not super well qualified. I don't want to say well qualified, the least amount of experience. They might set a foot wrong, whereas you might have somebody like Lewis Hamilton, who's kind of known for pushing the limits of the car right when he gets into it, to maybe finding a misstep somewhere. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm always excited for testing, but it never really shows you anything because everybody always kind of sandbags and just, kind of plays mind games with everybody.
Yeah, testing is one of these unique things to Formula One. You don't get this kind of stuff in other sports. They don't they don't all go out and play a game of football before even the preseason starts. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of equate it to preseason professional, sports, like where they're doing stuff, but you can't really get much of a feel for the game.
Like spring training for
for
baseball.
Exactly. Like spring training, or if you do preseason football usually goes for a month or whatever. And it's these games that are pretty definitely meaningless to the record and everything like that. They just want to get guys out there running and throwing, catching the ball and stuff again. But the team might be terrible during the preseason and then do just fine during the regular season. So, but it is just like, it's for Formula One fans, there's like a festiveness about it, right? Because it's like, okay, back out there. We're seeing something on camera, and we're, just getting us excited about it. But then, yeah, if you read too much into it, I will say sometimes it does pan out that like the slower teams are the slower ones in this season, but you don't really get a great sense of who's going to be winning. Like you said before, right? McLaren didn't particularly blow anybody's mind last year, but then they dominated pretty much the whole season. So,
wasn't it Carlos Sainz that was setting like the fastest times last year, and it just kind of came up not during the season?
Right. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was a little brutal.
Yeah.
It gave me so much false hope. So I really hope I don't get let down again.
Well, hey, he got those 2 podiums, so that kind of redeemed, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
Man, that's a downer. That's a downer sound from you. I thought you were still riding high on those couple of podiums. That was big. That was big time during the season. Now you're thirsty for more.
Yeah. Well, they've done so much, right? Like, I think the worst thing is because I've been there when they were really good, and they've had obviously a massive slump, and now that they're on the uprise again, it would be heartbreaking for all that just to kind of stop, and then for them to fall back down into a valley of nothing. So I'm trying to manage my expectations going on.
Yeah, well, I got a good feeling about Williams going into this. I think they've been on the right trajectory now for a couple of years. So let's hope it continues, and that they, this whole like not showing up to the shakedown is just a sandbagging technique or something, that they didn't want to give away too much. They didn't feel that there was enough value from it or something like that. So,
yeah,
but yeah.
The thing is, I think just about every team has something for us to look forward to or to talk about, with the exception of maybe Alpine and Haas. I think I don't really know too much of what's going on. Obviously, Alpine struggles have been, out there and outspoken, and you have Flavio Briatore, he's a really shady character in and of himself. So there's not really a lot of confidence going on there. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the Haas team. Obviously, Behrman and Ocon are pretty decent drivers. I think Behrman has made a great case to be the number 1 driver at that team. He's very competitive. He's had a lot of great moves the last season, especially when he sat in for Ferrari the season prior. But I just don't know what else is going to go on there. There's not really a lot of movement.
Yeah, Alpine seems to me like they're in a period where this could be an extended run of kind of chaos at their company and everything. I mean, with Renault dropping out of even supplying the power, the power units and all that, it's like, I don't know, it just seems like they're destined to have an off season, which means we'll probably get surprised in some way by whatever they do. Haas, I'm always watching, right, and I'm hoping that they do something good. They've been the sole American team out there, and I mean, really barely American, really just generally financed by by Gene Haas, but like not much else American about them. Their drivers are not American. Their power unit is a Ferrari. I'm like, not really. It's just, I don't know. There's not a lot of Americanness to him. Now, Cadillac, that's a straight up American car, so like I think everybody that watches the sport is kind of pumped about that. And then this actually, two other little things that I noticed when we were kind of tying the liveries. The Toyota Gazoo Racing logo is on the Haas, right? So they're starting to kind of like get back into F1 by way of sponsorship. It seems Toyota getting involved. So I don't know how much that's gonna lead to. Maybe them getting back, making a power unit or something like that at some point. I don't know, but that caught my eye in the liveries. And then the other one is that the Red Bull and the Racing Bulls, right? Like they have a partnership with Ford, who's helping them to build like a Red Bull Ford power unit. And they placed a logo on their liveries, but I thought it was somewhat of a small, inconspicuous logo. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
Like it
it's
seemed a little
like
small.
on the back end, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep. Near the kind of just before you hit the wing, rear wing. And I was a little surprised that it wasn't more prominent. Maybe they're not putting in that much money, or I don't know. But Ford getting involved in the mix here, which is another kind of cool thing to watch. Maybe I'll be a little more interested in Red Bull if I'm watching a Ford power unit out there.
Well, since Daniel Ricciardo is sponsored by Ford, maybe we'll see him at a lot more events this year too. Get your guy back in cruising the paddock, walking around.
I wouldn't mind that. I'm a big fan of Danny Rick, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, maybe just to cap it off, is there anything hopeful that you want to see during preseason testing?
I'll be rooting. I'll definitely be rooting for McLaren again. And at this point, I want to see another good battle between Lando and Oscar. But I think I will be watching carefully at Lewis Hamilton for the testing. Every now and then, a really competitive athlete will kind of almost do something like, hey, I'm going to show dominance right out of the gate. And I'm almost wondering if that was if he went for that fastest time at the shakedown, and he's going to do the same thing at testing. So I'll watch that. I mean, I could be just completely off base there, but I'll be watching that so that's one thing I want to see. Is Lewis Hamilton going to try to get in people's heads by being fastest at the testing as well?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to be watching Williams going around, but I think more than anything, I'm going to be watching Cadillac just to kind of see how they move in the car. And I'm going to be watching Aston Martin. I don't know why, but something tells me they just might be the team to root for this year. Adrian Newey behind them. And I think they might have like a really good chance this season, and my fingers are crossed. So I'm going to be watching them and seeing, kind of the changes that they make from week to week, just to see how it goes.
Yeah, those are great ones to watch, man. I too am very excited about the Aston. I'm trying to actually not get my hopes up too much, because like when Alonso was taking those podiums a few years ago, I was like, dude, this guy is an older guy and he is getting it done out there. Not winning, but the car was not expected to win anything, and he was getting podiums. And then it's just been kind of a couple of years of languishing, and I would really like to see him do something more than he's been able to do the last couple of years.
Yeah, agreed. Well, cool, man. Thanks for joining me today, and I think we'll meet again in 2 weeks once testing's over. We have that bye week right before our first race, and we'll bring up the bold predictions. We'll get them up and running again, and see what we can do for the full season.
That sounds like a good plan, man. We gotta keep track of these bold predictions a little better. Like, what we need to do is like flash a graphic up here. I don't know if you know how to flash a graphic up here. You're the one who does all the magic with this thing, but like a flash a graphic up, bold prediction counter, like check them off, something, so we can recap and keep a score going. Does anybody get anything right?
Sounds good, man. We'll bring it. We're back better than ever, and we're gonna see how this season goes, man. It's gonna be
2026.
2026. Well, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And say adios.
Adios.